State head football coach Buddy Pough. He's accompanied by players Corey Fields and Patrick Godbolt. We will start with questions for the players only, and we'll dismiss the players.
Coach, do an opening statement, and then we'll start with the players.
Or we'll do an opening statement. Coach, it's all you.
Thank you, Jesse. Good evening, everybody. Y'all endured an ugly whooping tonight. Congratulations to Coach Taylor and his crew. Those guys played really well. I thought they had a great plan against us, and we did not have one. I didn't think that we coached or played very well. I thought we've got two new coordinators, and at this point right now, it hadn't quite come together yet. But you know what? I was not really surprised at how this went. So at this point, I'm just looking forward to seeing where we go to from here.
Sorry, a second row. Go ahead.
Yeah, Kendrick Marshall, SWC Sports. This is for Corey. From the opening drive, it seemed like you guys couldn't get very much going against their defense. What did they do, or did you guys not do that kind of like enable that?
Just from the first drive of the game, we just didn't execute our plays. The plays were there. On my end, I missed a couple throws that I should have made, kept the drive going longer. So it's most of us than them, because we know at the end we got to do our job. We didn't do that.
Charles Bishop inside the HBC Sports Lab. And I wanted to ask guys, how difficult was it preparing for this team that essentially was a roster overhaul?
I would say for this team, we didn't have much film with them. So going into the week was going in kind of blind. We had an idea what was going on from the spring game and what they did the last couple of years with DC at Alcorn. So we was going kind of blind, but at the end of the day, we got to do it. We got to do it out here.
Can I add to that?
Yeah,
You're exactly right. It was a little bit of a difficult preparation because we were trying to prepare for an offense basically from Liberty University, I think it might have been, and then we were preparing for Alcorn's defense. And they were a good bit different today than they were. And what they really did that really hurt us a good bit on defense was they played us a lot tougher coverage than what we had seen in practice. So those guys did a nice job of leveraging us and doing things of that sort. That gave us a little bit of a hard time.
Right here in front row.
Emmanuel Glade to Crush Sports Talk. Patrick, talk to me from a defensive perspective. What did you see? Were they tougher than you expected? Was it something that you didn't see? From defense, what did you see the Jackson State offense do tonight?
Really, they were pretty fast at a wide receiver core, and like they just picked us apart with all the short passes basically, and we couldn't stop that. And that's what we got to go back on film, and we got to change that.
You good? You good right here.
Hey, Coach Luke
Hey,
Williams.
Luke, how you?
I'm doing fine. You kind of clairvoyant. You said this team was going to be tougher than Deion's team.
I knew that.
What went into that when you making that statement?
Because I had worked against TC's teams, not necessarily his teams, but his teams before. And I had a pretty good idea that they'd be better prepared for us. They knew us better than the previous staff would have. And I also thought that they'd also restock talent-wise because they've got a pretty good deal on trying to find transfers. And they had a couple kids that kind of give you an indication from our state, a couple kids from in Beaufort County that that played really well for them. And I knew those kids from Walford because they had been in that program for 4 years.
Can
so,
I
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. You ever seen a team that come in with 70 new players?
No, but you know what? That's not so unusual in the days. NIL, transfer portal, all that other kind of stuff kind of game. You see those kind of teams from time to time, especially when you get schools, who seem to have, a real feeling for that style of operational, I guess maybe the way they do their program operationally. So it works for them. And, I don't know if I'd be able to, do what they've done. You've got to have pretty good finances. Jackson is really doing really well in the financial end of athletics because of the fact that they got that big stadium down there and they're drawing really well. So you take that and put that together with a staff that's got pretty good know-how on how to go out and find guys. You know that thing is really coming together for them. They might really be a force in the coming years.
Mike Washington, Dr. Bills inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Thanks, Coach. They went to a hurry-up offense, and at times they went trips on the right side, left side. Is that something you anticipated? You said you practiced
No.
against Liberty.
No, it looked like it was right out of Willie Simmons' playbook. I'm sitting on the sideline. It almost, it's the same exact thing, and everything kind of bleeds into your offense over the years. So I'm sitting there trying to talk to our offensive guys, because we're not really doing much on offense. And then our defense starts to come loose on us. And at that point, then, hell breaks loose. So, it was not a pretty sight over there on the sideline, but they were hurrying up and we couldn't get them stopped, and they were trying to move, and then we couldn't get going on offense. So it was not a pleasant experience.
Mason Smith with HBCU Legends. Corey, obviously this is a huge struggle for you tonight. What's kind of next for you to, as you go back and look at the film, but also the running back room where you learned is really young, a lot of redshirt freshmen that got to see the field today. What were some positives you saw from them?
Just be able to give them the ball and then make plays on the field, make certain guys miss the space, and just be able to run the football. Last year we kind of struggled, so this year seeing them go out there and run the football is a positive thing for us.
Travis Boland, Thompson Democrat in Orangeburg. This is for the players. Did Coach Pough's announcement Thursday have any effect on you guys tonight?
I wouldn't say it did. I would have said it pumped the team up a little bit more, but we just didn't come out here and show that. That's basically it.
For me, it's kind of shocking because I think Coach Pough's gonna stay around another 3 years or so. But for me, it's just like, Coach Pough leaving, but I'm leaving the same year he's leaving, so it didn't really rub me too bad.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
I gotta stay. Tennis coach.
We're now taking questions for the head coach, Buddy Pough. Start here in the front row, Coach.
Coach, Missy, you heard Crush Sports Talk. We all know one game doesn't make a season. What did you tell your guys to get them ready for the next few weeks coming up?
That we had lots of work to do, that we had not played very well, and it was our coach's fault, me in particular, as much as anybody. So don't think that I'm just gonna go out and drop this in their laps, and it was as much me as anybody. And we got to figure this out. Our offense was not very diverse, and we got to find a way to make that look a little bit different. So we got work to do, and I told them that. But I told them they also had to stick together and continue to work with us so that we could get ourselves to the point we could get better.
Stephen Gaither, HBCU Game Day coach. On the other side, you had Coach Taylor coaching his first game as a head coach. Just talk about how you felt he game planned and had his team ready to play you guys, who are very tough.
I thought he had a tremendous game plan, and those guys did a nice job. And he's got some talent out there. Those guys threw the ball around in some ways that we hadn't had to deal with in the past. So he really made us defend the field. He wouldn't let us. He was running the football on us and hurting us with the throw game, and went away from that to throw the spread throw game that really, beat us up in a way that we couldn't come in and play the run nor the pass. So we were kind of caught in a quandary there, trying to figure out exactly, which way to actually lean, because we couldn't just play it straight up and get it stopped.
All right, your second row.
Coach Pough, Jake McDonald, Core 360 Sports. Towards the end of the game, you replaced the starter with a backup, and was that looking towards just trying to get guys more reps, or what was the thoughts there?
Yeah, you give a guy a chance to kind of sit back a little bit and kind of reflect and observe a little bit about, what might be. So at that point, then he went on about the task of coming back in the game and actually getting us down and getting us to the score. So he was actually still the most effective guy, our starting quarterback, Corey, was, even though we didn't necessarily plan on putting it back in.
Come back.
Hey, Coach, Shanlon back, WLTX. Just first off, you kind of mentioned Andre, well, you mentioned Corey, and then Andre ultimately came in for Corey. Just what are your thoughts on how he played? And then overall, you guys also ran Corey a little bit more towards the end of the game. Do you anticipate continuing that as the season progresses?
Yeah, Chandler, I think we've got to figure that out a little bit. First off, we got to figure out how to get our offense to a point where we become a little less predictable. And we've had a game now to kind of go back and actually see how it actually, affects when we put it out there against an opponent. We've been practicing against ourselves for the period of time since the spring, and with these, actually Coach Howard, our coordinator, just got here this summer, so we didn't actually lose our coordinator until after spring ball. So then we come in and put this guy out to work this summer, and then we come back and change the offensive coordinator at the same time. So it was a little bit of a feel-out kind of process. The whole time I was telling people, say, hey, I don't really know how we are at this point because I'm kind of perplexed by, some of the good things that happen. I don't know if it's the one side doing good or the other side just ain't worth 2 cents. So, I think I found out there was a little bit of that today. So we got some work to do, and at this point, we go back to the drawing board and see if we can kind of find ourselves a little bit.
Coach, Kenyatta Claville, Dr. Claville's inside the HBCU Sports Lab. The last series of plays, as team was looking to try to get on the board, obviously you had a penalty that backed you up, and the camera kind of flashed to your sidelines, and you could see the motion that you had in terms of the game with that play, but then you came back and was able to get a touchdown. Can you talk about the importance of playing all the way through and what that could do as you move forward with the rest of the season?
Well, you always want to show some sign, Dr. Claville, of success. Show that you can do something, positive. So, that was just an obvious kind of, we were trying to fight our way through to the very end. I was proud of our defense at the very end because although they had the ball down close to the goal line at the end, I think both those last 2 series, we stopped them, we held them to field goals. And it wasn't like they pulled the dogs off, they fought us to the very end that way. So it was definitely interesting to watch the attitude of our guys, as they went through that particular process because it wasn't pretty. And I did not think we quit at any point. So I was proud of the fact that our kids continued to fight to the very end. I can take that bad deal today and work with it to see if we can get ourselves to a point where we can be better. And so our goal now, we got 5-6 more weeks before we get to a conference game. So our whole season is wrapped up in those 5 conference games. So we got no reason to fall off the doggone, ladder at this point. We may as well continue to climb, and at that point, then we'll see if we can figure it out.
Last one, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
Coach Mason Smith with HBCU Legends. Like I asked Corey, the running back room was just really young. A lot of redshirt freshmen that saw the field probably for the first
There's
time.
5 guys in there, and I told them tonight, I told our kids, and I said, you know what, all 5 of those guys can play. And we think that we got one that can do this and the other can do that, but they all pretty much can play. And we got to figure out how to use those guys because they are really probably the talent of our team that way. Now, how exactly we figure out how to use that many guys, young guys that way, I don't know, but that's part of our mission at this point.
We got them all. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.